There's a secret to dog training that only a few elite trainers know about, and it's the missing piece that could take your dog's training to the next level. The Canine Cooperative is an exclusive community of dog owners that know the secret, and they are using it to achieve greatness with their dogs. The cooperative has videos on dog psychology, leash handling, stranger danger, and solutions for common issues. Use promo code PODCAST to save 50% on your first month. For less than $10, you can start training your dog today. Try it out. You have nothing to lose and your sanity to gain. Enjoy the show.
Time again for Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, owner of Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive Hyde Park. It's the show that delves into the training, socializing, behavior, nutrition, and wellness of your dog. And brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And we're back with the trainer, Ian Grant, and this week, your dog wants attention. Well, is that a bad thing?
No, it's not a bad thing. I think I want to put this into some context for everybody, though. I think having multiple dogs in the household, because this is when I hear, me personally, during my training lessons, this is when I hear it the most, is there's more than one dog in the house. And so when you're petting one dog and the other one comes over and wants attention, I put wants in quotations here because I often hear the word jealousy, too. I'm giving one dog attention, so the other one is jealous and it comes over.
So I guess it's another factor when you have more than one dog as compared to just having the one dog.
Yeah, and I also hear too where if somebody has a dog already and they go and adopt another one, they want to make sure that all the attention is fair, meaning everybody gets the same amount of time of attention. And this is...
Do dogs have stopwatches?
It's funny you say that because there's oftentimes I just want to say that. I'm like, are you clocking in for the amount of time that you're giving the attention
I'm
to?
18 seconds short of the other dog,
Yes.
of our friend here.
Oh, my gosh.
So do they really want everything to be even?
I think the owners do more than the dogs do.
Oh, they do. Okay,
Yes.
so it's not so much the dogs then, to an extent.
Yeah, exactly. Good way to put it. To an extent. All right. So owners petting dog number one, and then dog number two, wants the attention, comes over and gets in between. Sometimes this can turn into some scuffles and some fights too, because our space, as much as we've talked about it in the past, is a resource to dogs. So if one of them can come over and just invade our space and create this affection that we give them, and then the other one comes over, and that other dog will literally put itself between the dog and the owner and just kind of, I own this space in here and this isn't your space. But the problem is that because we as humans look at this as we need to give affection to each one of them, we're not aware that the state of mind that we're petting is this state of mind that says, I'm going to take over this space. And then we're telling that dog, that's exactly what I want.
So when you're doing it, then you're giving them what they want. So so does that mean that you got to kind of set standards on how much attention and how you give it?
I think structure is the key word here, meaning if you're petting dog number one and dog number two comes over and looks for attention, I create some structures that says dog number two is going to wait for its turn to give affection, especially if you do need structure. If you have a couple of dogs that have a history of some little scuffles, little arguments here and there, we need to have that structure that needs to be pure black and white. There's no gray area whatsoever. But honestly, I'll do this with my dog sometimes. I'll pet Gemma, and then Fitz comes over because he loves his affection, and he wants to just wiggle his way right in. And this is a very happy-go-lucky way of doing it, but I don't want to allow that. If I want to just pet Gemma, then I just want to pet Gemma for a second. And I create structure. I usually put Fitz into a sit and just make him wait, which is like what we talked about last week, making your dog wait. And then when I'm done with Gemma, then I'll invite Fitz in for a little bit of affection. But I'm not going to just let them crawl all over me and let them demand all the attention that I'm going to be giving. And nor am I going to start my stopwatch and keep track of the time.
So you're going to be pretty consistent with this, too, all the time then, right? I mean, you slip up one time and then it's like a few steps backwards.
Yeah, and it's really difficult so medium-sized dogs is not that big of a problem because if you have to just push them away respectfully, you can. You get a Great Dane that walks up and they're just in your face pretty easily. And then the opposite ends of the spectrum is the little dogs that can just jump up into your lap, and that's invading your space too. And so
you don't want the big dog to start doing that.
No,
at the same time.
No, not at all. And really the key word here is structure. You get to create what you want here. There is no stopwatch. To me, whoever is calmer is going to get pet longer. That's actually what I want to teach. I don't want to teach the more excited you are, the more I'll pet you.
Can they learn that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I used to feed 15 dogs in my basement with no leashes and no nothing.
So you definitely had to have structure there.
There was nothing but structure, and you could hear a pin drop in there too, because I started with 2 and worked my way up to where there were no fights, but I could, pour out all the food and feed everybody at the same time.
All right. So it's not that you're against giving them affection, but you got to do it with structure.
Yes,
All
absolutely.
Right. And keep everybody happy and keep all those tails wagging equally, as the case may be.
Lots of happy-go-lucky.
Yes, right. Back with our question from the doggy bag in just a moment here on Talking Dogs.
Roaming is a Los Angeles-based premium lifestyle brand that is motivated by nature. Roaming features high-quality, earth-friendly dog products made from renewable and natural materials like their bio-based and 100% compostable biodegradable dog poop bags. These bags really are awesome. I've been using their bags for a few months now, and I love the durability, the way they feel, and the fact that they are good for the earth. They also have a special discount for our listeners. Use code VermontDog to get 20% off your first purchase, including 20% off the first 3 orders if you sign up for one of their poop bag subscriptions. They also have some beautiful leather leashes made right here in the USA. You can check them out at roaming.com. That's ROMNG.com. Are you looking for gear that can keep up with your active and adventurous dog? Look no further than Synology Warehouse. They specialize in equipping the modern canine with distinguished, overbuilt gear that's built to last from home to horizon. From premium collars and leashes to rugged outdoor gear, they have everything you need to keep your dog comfortable and safe no matter where your adventures take you. I've been using their Biothane slip leashes for months now, and I love them. They have a nice feel, a good grip, and they clean very easily. Use coupon code Vermont to receive 10% off your purchase. Head over to Synology Warehouse on Etsy today and give your dog the gear they deserve. Synology Warehouse, overbuilt gear that's built to last from home to horizon.
Back to Talking Dogs with Ian Grant from Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, VFW Drive in Hyde Park. For more information about his facility, just simply go to his website, Vermont Dog Boarding and Behavior, all spelled out.com. Our question this morning, Ian, is how can I stop my dog from going nuts when someone knocks on our door? And that's kind of an issue we've talked about when people before that, well, actually after they've knocked on the door, when they actually come in the door. So this is kind of a step before that.
Yes. And the other part that goes along with this, for me personally, I actually want my dogs to bark a little bit. I don't want complete silence because you
want to know in case there's somebody at the door, you want to know.
Absolutely, yeah. Or there's other noise in the house and I can't hear over it like a dog can.
Yeah.
All right, so if we look at this going, okay, we are inside the house, the dog is inside the house, the door is closed, and there's a knock. Instead of worrying about doing this when somebody is there, we're going to do this without any guest that's coming over. So something that you can do is be on the inside of the house, open up the door with your dog next to you, and then knock on the door so that they can actually see outside.
Oh.
So now we're giving them a different reason and a different look and a different outlook. So we can do this not only from the inside, but we can also do it maybe when you come back in from a walk, just before you walk in your front door, whatever door you use, be outside with your dog and knock on the door. And now we're starting to desensitize the knocking for the dog to understand that when you hear knocking, there's really nothing happening right now. And again, I would open the door while you're standing outside and knock on the door. So they're actually looking inside. So you see there's different ways that we can work around this to work with our dog. Pretty soon, if you do this long enough, you could sit there and knock. The dog's not going to bark because there's not anybody on the other side of the door inside the house.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If you're inside and the door is open and they're looking to where there's normally somebody there and there isn't. And so now we're just working on the knocking part. We're not working on the, like what you just said, when somebody walks into the house and working on the greeting time.
Now, what if it's like a screen door where they can see who's actually coming in? Of course, if it's a regular friend, then they may already know who it is. But, but what if it isn't?
Yeah, that's what's going to take the time and the work on the greeting. And I think that's, just for me, it's working on that calm state of mind. It's a calm greeting. the best way to do this is to stage it. You just have to call one of your friends and say, "Hey, I just heard Ian on the radio say this, and I want to,
I want to give this a shot.
I want to give it a shot." And then after, we're going to have some pizza and just kind of hang out. But because when you just try to do this under the gun and you're trying to remember all the steps,
it's not the natural way of doing it.
No, and you're setting yourself up for failure. It's just too much to try to keep track of all at the same time. So just stage it. You'll be much better off.
Yeah, and then if you try to do it in a hurry, then you end up making the situation worse, and you have to go back again. So
yes, that you are.
Yeah, I like the idea about the pizza, though. If you have a question for Ian, you can email him directly to info@VermontDogBoardingAndBehavior.com. Well, next week, the topic is repetitions are your best friend. Is that like consistency?
Yeah, consistency. I mean, we used to say dogs are your best friend, right? Now
it's repetitions. The dog just got demoted.
Yes, yeah. Through a process I've kind of put together here for my trainings, I've worked with a lot of clients, and knowing that repetitions are a huge part of dog training, I thought we'd just get into it a little bit more.
And that'll happen next week on Talking Dogs with Ian Grant, brought to you by Guy's Farm and Yard, with locations in Morrisville, Montpelier, Williston, and St. Albans. And for the trainer Ian Grant, I'm Roland LaJoy, and we are Talking Dogs.